Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's start off with Carly and Jason. So at this point, Carly tells Jason the bad news that they had to let go of Florence. And you know what? Jason's like, listen, we was going to have to do this sooner or later anyway. You know, she's frail. It was only a matter of time. Jason is trying to keep things calm and cool. And Carly looks at Jason's knuckles. Carly's like, listen, um, this whole you being in jail thing is not gonna work. Which, by the way, and I said this yesterday, and I don't really like to sound like a broken record, but I'm pretty sure just because Sonny supposedly dies, you know, Jason is still in charge. I don't understand why he does not actually have any connections in jail. It's just like it seems so like what? There were so many times where Jason and Sonny sit there and talk about hits on certain people while they're in jail. What what happened to that power? Am I missing something? I know I'm not missing something. So Carly's worried, and Carly's like, "Listen, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets you." So Carly's like, "Listen, we tried it your way. Now we're trying it my way." Jason's like, listen, just chill. Whatever you're going to do, just don't do it. Carly's had enough at this point. She is done. And you know what? Listen, I can't blame her at this point because Anna was useless. Um, and things are going pretty sideways pretty fast. They just lost their leverage over Cyrus. Yeah, at this point, it is what it is. So Carly decides to take matters into her own hands. She calls up somebody and gets something set up. This guard comes over, and the guard's like, "You're gonna have a new roommate." And I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, Jason just, even before the guard came in, or like, came in with the guy, he just sitting there just looking and just waiting, just planning. Like, the dude seems so calm. It's eerie. Anyway, the guard comes in with the prisoner or whatever. As soon as I saw those hands and he looked at them, I was like, yes, he's back. He's back. And just like that, I mean, granted, we all knew he was coming back. I just can't wait till he was back. By the way, before I forget, also Cameron Madison, I think that's how you say his last name, is going to be coming on GH. I didn't really watch that much of All My Children, but I know he was like a big thing, him and Greenlee. So I'm really curious about Cameron Madison's part, but yeah, Sean is back, and things about to get interesting. Now, when I say that, the question is Sean there to help Sonny? I mean, help Jason? Or is he there to kill Jason? I'm thinking help Jason because the last time, he's the one that took the fall for Sonny, I think. So yeah, should be pretty interesting. Now let's go with Jocelyn and Cam. Pretty much this whole thing just does not work out. They get into an argument. Cam still feels how he feels. Jocelyn's just not having it, so Cam leaves. Jax comes in, and here's the thing. I understand exactly where Jocelyn's coming from, because not only is Jocelyn upset at the fact that, well, Cam is just acting like a dick, Cam, the way she's coming at Cam, I mean, the way that Cam's coming at her is like, well, we could be friends just as long as you believe in what I believe. Just as long as you are in the same opinion as me, then we're good. And, with that being said, she's like, yo, I don't see how we can actually work this out. And, Jack says something that I'm just like, alright, listen, this makes sense to you, and I'm glad that he said it. Because my whole reaction would just be just to probably just cut him off. Like, to be honest, depending on the situation, I have no problem cutting people off. I really don't. Um, but Jax is like, listen, Jason's gonna be clear. Don't waste your time sitting there trying to defend him. When Cam is sitting there hurting, he's in a lot of pain, and he's gonna wind up seeing the light sooner or later. So just ask yourself, is it worth losing that time with him? And at first I was like, did you not just hear what Jocelyn said? Because, listen, in the beginning, when she first came in, I didn't like this chick at all. After the whole Nell thing, and I mean, her whooping Nell's ass, I liked her. I understood where she was coming from, and that's why I was so surprised when Jax was just like, nah, you should still be friends with him. Like, he's hurting, he's going through a lot of pain. Like, what? But I understood where he was coming from, and Jocelyn calls Cam, and they somewhat patch things up. Now Scott was sitting there talking to Cam a little bit, and the only thing that I really got from it was that Scott was like, listen, when I was growing up, I wasn't exactly a good person, and because of that, wound up having a bunch of kids that I only knew about when they were adults. And he says something along the lines of, how you are how you are as a teenager will affect how you are as a person. And basically he was like, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with that. He was like, if you're pretty much like, if you're messed up as a kid, like if you're a troubled kid, you're gonna be a troubled adult. And that's not exactly true. It's not exactly true. It just means you're gonna actually have to, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to be a better man or a better woman in your adult years. So I didn't exactly agree where he was coming from, but I understood what he was basically trying to say. Finn and Portia gets into it because Portia's just like, listen, you can't treat your son like it's a conflict of interest. It's gonna mess up your judgment, and it's not gonna do anyone any good. And she pretty much is like, listen, if you don't resign, I'm gonna make sure that you are off the case. So they get into it, and at first, Finn gets into it with Liz, but I think he kind of sees like what Liz and everyone is coming from. Listen, the truth of the matter is, because they're like, oh, well, you're going to see him as a son and everything like that. If this whole Murray or Maury Povich thing didn't come out, he still would have wanted to treat Finn. Because one, he feel like he's the best in the field. And two, like, that's, he wants to sit there and feel like he could do everything he could. Now, I understand exactly where Portia was coming from. But to be fair, if this was Trina, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have that same energy, but whatever. Point is, Finn does want to come to his senses. And of course, later on, he sees Anna. Now, Anna isn't there talking to Peter, which is just gloating and talking about, oh, how's Chase doing? Is he good? Like, because I don't know how long he's going to be doing good. And he winds up changing his terms. Pretty much he wants Anna to kind of be like a go-between for Maxie, to kind of, get her to trust him more and get them to meet up and talk and everything like that. And, Anna's like, yo, she wants no parts of me. I don't know what I can do, but, Chase's life is kind of hanging in the balance. So she, agrees to do it. And he actually takes out a vial of, like, not a cure, but, like, something that would make him, feel mostly better. And then he pretty much stomps on it and walks away and says, well, tick-tock. And he walks off. And eventually, I don't know, I think this was earlier, Anna was not there looking at Finn. Anna was not there looking at Finn and Portia go at it. And long story short, Anna tells Finn, I know what's wrong with Chase. So yeah, if there was any hope of people wanting to see those two back together down the line, yeah, that's just not gonna happen. That is a fairy tale, and that ship has long sailed. Long sailed. Speaking of Chase, Willow's there by his side, and they're talking for a little bit. And at some point, Michael, he's outside, looking at everything like that. He walks in, he checks on him and everything like that. At this point, when later on, Michael and Willow talk, and Willow's like, "Yeah, this is just not the best time to do it." At one point when Willow left, Michael was there talking to him, and I'm sitting there thinking, "So, Michael, you gonna tell him the news that y'all just had like hot sex like not that many hours ago before? You gonna tell him that? I mean, obviously not like that, but you gonna tell him, right?" Nope, he doesn't tell him. And honestly, to tell you the truth, this is so not the best time to actually sit there and tell him. And I honestly, to tell you the truth, I think at this point, when they both, realize that they both can't sit there and tell him, they're like, well, what are we gonna do? So I guess maybe tomorrow, or the next day, honestly, to tell you the truth, at this point, and I've said this before, and I know I sound like a broken record, and I hope I'm wrong, for Michael's sake, but when he is feeling much more better or on the road to becoming better, Willow and Chase are going to get back together. And Michael is, once again, is going to be single. Because for some odd reason, they just don't want Michael to be too happy. I mean, not really. If you don't believe me, look at all his relationships. That just pretty much says it all right there. I feel like it's somebody from Buffy that's writing this whole thing with Michael. But what else we got? So let's talk about Sunny's side story because now it's about to get a little more interesting. Here's the thing. I know that a lot of people do not like this side story about Sunny and this whole other thing that's going on. And I mean, yes, I am one of those people. I'm just like, all right, I kind of want things to start to go back to the status quo. I miss him being Sunny, and not that he's not Sunny, but it's just I miss him being Sunny again. Okay, let's just put it that way. But with that being said, they're at this dance or whatever, and they have on like cowboy attire, like cowboy hats on and everything, and I'm just like, why? I mean, I know it's supposed to be like a dance, like a fundraiser thing, but what's with the whole like country theme? I don't really understand that. Anyway, somewhere along the lines, Elijah and Nina come in. They're all talking and stuff like that. And Sonny's like, "So Nina, you want to dance?" And Nina says yes. They walk off. And Elijah has the illest, like, angry look on his face. And I'm just like, well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, he is Sonny. He is, I'm Mr. Stereo Girl. That's just how it is. I accepted that a long time ago. I mean, let's be honest. We all know that Sonny has a thing for the lady. I mean, a thing with the ladies. I don't understand why this dude's so surprised. I guess, well, he doesn't know who he is. Never mind. So anyway, he takes Nina on the dance floor. Elijah is, well, he's angry. And, I laughed. So I got a good laugh out of it. Now, along the lines, Nina and Sonny are talking. At some point, they're about to start kissing. I'm like, Nina, the hell are you doing? Like, you just realize you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole, right? You just keep on digging, right? You're just gonna keep on digging, right? Because, okay. When when this whole thing blows up in Nina's face, I think I'm gonna do something special. I think I'm actually gonna have cake. I'm actually gonna have a piece of cake. I'm gonna show the whole cake. I'm actually gonna buy a cake when this whole thing comes crashing down on Nina's face. I'm gonna sit there and buy a cake. I'm gonna enjoy cake while I enjoy the popcorn and everything like that, of just everything coming down on Nina because she deserves it. And yes, I am that petty. Anyway, they're about to kiss. Elijah comes over there. He's like, so what's going on? He's like, so about that dance. And Nina doesn't really say anything. She's kind of like, I don't know. Like, she's not really saying much. Lenny apparently overdid it. And so now she wants to sit there and see how Lenny's doing. And Elijah's like, nah, Lenny's fine. I mean, you said you was going to dance with me. I'm like, bro, I want to just calm it down a little bit. I mean, breathe. So, Sunny's like, yo, she says she's good. Like, she's good. Like, relax. So Nina goes, and they get into it. They go back and forth. Sunny brings up the fact that, you didn't sit there and tell them about your past. You're lying to them and stuff like that. Now, to be fair, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Well, actually, never mind. He wanted to invest in it. Yeah, it's totally a big deal. I actually had to really think about that for a minute. But yeah, he was like, it's none of your business. And they are really going at it, And Elijah's like, you don't want to sit there. Why you want to make an enemy for, whatever. So Lenny's not there watching. And Lenny's like, they're going at it again. And somewhere along the lines, somebody says, I don't know if it's Phyllis or whatever, but they're like, this is about Nina. And, Lenny's like, oh, are you pushing, you've been pushing her towards Sunny. You think that's a mistake or whatever. And she's like, oh, well, I'm keeping out of it. When did you change that attitude? When did you decide to keep out of it? Because you didn't have that same energy when she got to the bar and y'all was, getting them to dance and everything like that. What was that energy at? But now you're what, Switzerland? Like, no. And by the way, this, somebody put this in the comment section, and they were like, Phyllis knows that Sunny was married to someone. So the fact that she kept pushing Nina onto Sunny was like, what the hell are you doing? So somewhere along the lines, Jax comes over. And Jax is like, so, I don't know if he approached them yet, or was it in the previews, but, he's like, yo, what's going on? Like, he's asking Phyllis, like, have you seen, Nina? Now, earlier, he offered to take Jocelyn on a little trip or whatever, and that's where he was going, to, try to find Nina. I'm sitting there thinking, Nicholas had a lot of money and was able to sit there and track Florence or whatever. You can just find a PI to sit there and track where she was. I mean, I know that kind of defeats the whole purpose, and he wants to be Mr. Romantic or whatever, Mr. White Knight, even though I'm just not gonna get into that. But yeah, so he is in wherever that town is that I just forgot. Is it Philadelphia? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea where they're at. Damn it. I think that's about it. And I'm not gonna lie, I still don't know where the hell they're at. I think it's something Falls, but I'm not too sure. I don't know why I keep saying Philadelphia, but it just escapes me. I'm gonna try to look it up, and hopefully I have the answer tomorrow, so that way I can sit there and look less like a dumbass. Yes. With that being said, So yes, I think that's about it. So yes, with that being said, yeah, not gonna lie, I don't remember my closing. I had a closing, and I said it all the time, and now I just do not remember what it is. So I'm just gonna just kind of befuddle through it. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Now it came to me. And I will see you in the next video. Wow. I am so not doing this over again.